Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress, the chess channel for novice and improving players. I also have a channel called Chess to Impress, and that's for more advanced players, and I invite you to have a look there as well. There's a lot of material there. This is the first video in a series on Checkmate in the opening, and this video is on the Scholar's Mate. Let's have a look what that is about. This is the starting position, and the first move from white is e2, e4, the most common move, and if you are starting in chess I encourage you to play that move as your first move. It's the start of the so-called open games, and when you're a bit more experienced you can also play other first moves. The main other first moves are d2, d4, c2, c4 and knight g1 to f3. There are other first moves as well, but those four are the most common ones. Black plays e5, e7, e5, also a classical way of playing, and then white develops his bishop c4. In the opening it's always important to develop your pieces, bring your pieces into play, and bishop c4 is a perfectly normal move. Black plays bishop f8 to c5. Also normal, just a symmetrical move, the same move that white made, and it's a perfectly okay move. Now white plays queen d1 to h5. That's not a great move, but it has a threat. It's not a great move because going out with the queen very early in the game is generally not a great thing to do. The queen is very strong, but because she is very strong she is also very vulnerable. So black will be able to chase the queen back. But as I said, there is a threat. And if black does not see that threat, and for example straight away starts to attack white's queen with the move knight g8 to f6, as you can see that knight is attacking the queen, then the game is suddenly over. Because then there is queen h5 takes f7 checkmate. And that's what we call the Scholar's Mate. Why is it checkmate? Well, the king is in check, and the king cannot take the queen because the queen is protected by the bishop on c4. And no other pieces can take the queen, and also the king cannot flee from the check because it's boxed in by its own pieces. So this is checkmate. So that's an important trick to see. After queen h5 there is a threat of queen takes f7 checkmate. And if you see that and you decide to play, for example, g7, g6, which looks a good move, it attacks the queen and there's no checkmate on f7 now, that's also not a great move, because then there's suddenly queen takes e5 check. Yes, the queen is very powerful. It's check, and not only that, but also the rook in the corner is attacked. It is a double attack, and that will win white material. You have this, also the bishop on c5 is attacked, by the way. Well, you can solve that problem by playing bishop e7, saving the bishop and shielding the check, but then white takes the rook in the corner and has won a lot of material. So what should you play after queen h5? Well, the best move is queen e7. You protect the f7 square, so there's no checkmate now. If the queen takes f7, then you just take back with the queen. And also the e5 pawn is now protected by the queen. So that's a very safe move. And then, for example, play can develop as follows. White can play knight g1 to f3, developing a piece, putting a piece into play. And then black can play d7, d6, opening the bishop diagonal so that the bishop can come out. And then, for example, white develops his other knight, knight c3. And then black can play knight f6. Now it is a safe move. It's attacking the queen, so the queen has to go. And there's no trouble on f7 because the queen on e7 is still protecting that square safely. So that's the story of the Scholar's Mate. I hope you enjoyed it and found it instructive. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want, you can leave a comment and I'll be happy to read it and reply. This is Rick from Chess to Progress. Thank you for watching.